Welcome. Welcome to the fifth demonstration of our Tarot class. This is going to be another Tarot reading. Today we are going to leap into a much more complicated reading than we have looked at before. We are going to try out and demonstrate the month ahead reading. This was sent to you versus a file from last week, and it basically helps us look at a 9-card spread that deals with kind of predicting, kind of giving us advice as to the direction of the month ahead. So this is, let me pull this into a focus here. I'm trying to focus this. So we have a month ahead spread, and we see the 9 cards, and we're going to go through and read each of the cards through the Universal Weight deck. Yes, I am going to go ahead and try my hand at this new reading for me. I have not before used a month ahead spread. I was really intrigued with this, as I really spend my life kind of on a month-to-month cycle that involves like full moon, new moon, that whole cyclical process that kind of the month engenders. So I thought it was appropriate here on June 1st to do a month ahead reading, and also using the Universal Weight or the Rider Waite Classic deck, which I am still getting familiar with as far as learning to read the tarot through this classic deck. So let's go ahead. Let's see what happens. As you can see, I've already shuffled, prepared for this reading in the usual way we process. And I'm going to look at pulling the first card of the 9 cards, which is the Self card. This card depicts really what is going on currently, kind of how I'm holding myself or what I'm dealing with. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that first card. And it is the 8 of Swords. Oh, this really depicts some interesting imaging. All right, let me put this down in that first position. And I'll go ahead and interpret the cards one at a time as they show up, and then kind of summarize. So I really feel that what this is saying, that currently I feel really literally tied up, not literally tied up, but in a figurative manner. I feel that maybe my thoughts, since swords as a suit deals with our thinking, our thoughts, maybe I feel like I am being held in or suppressed or unable to communicate as I would like to communicate. So let's just leave that card there and see what more information comes as a result of that. And I am not going to reveal that this is applicable to how I'm feeling, but I think it's providing me some information about my current status. So number 2 is the personal theme for the month. So what is coming up as a theme? What can I experience? And all right, we have the Five of Pentacles. Goodness gracious. You know, two cards that already are coming up on what I would perceive as a little more negative tone. Um, you know, I remember when the Five of Pentacles first ever showed up in another reading. One of the first tarot readings I remembered brought up the issue of kind of this poor little match girl kind of experience. And as I place this card down, I will share why I think this card it really talks about a little bit of a theme that has kind of been prevalent through my life. I guess that's why when I had a tarot reading so very long ago, but I remember that poor little match girl. In this case, you're seeing more of a Dickens scene, and you know, we're really looking at you know, kind of this hard times, this lack of prosperity, hardship. And the poor little match girl image came up for me in the sense that I always felt a little martyred about not having, you know, working hard, but not having all the gains and abundance coming in due to all my hard work. And so, needless to say, at times in my life, I felt sorry for myself. And this may surprise you, and then it may not. But let's go on. I don't really want to think that this is going to be a theme for my month of hardship, but let's go forward and see what I will accomplish. Maybe I can look at something that I will accomplish that will bring me out of this. So I'll pull another card, and what I have pulled up, thank goodness, we have a positive card coming up. So what I will accomplish is incorporated in the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands, what the Three of Wands really brings up, and I'm going to hold this up for us a little bit more. What the Three of Wands really brings up for me, and especially on what I will accomplish, is this card evokes an image of almost leadership. And I really always feel that the three, no matter what suit it represents, brings up a positive energy, expansion, generosity, abundance, all those different themes that come across. And with particularly the three, I think that especially this person has his back to us, but he is looking forward. So I think that the landscape of my life, you know, what I will accomplish is I will go forward really on a positive note, and I look to perhaps accomplishing next steps, and there's just this hopeful, positive feeling to this card. Next card. What should I avoid? That would be the number 4. I'm just going to hold and show you. We're going to do 3, 4, and 5 in a row. So what should I avoid? Let's pull. Oops, I got 2 cards, so I'm going to hold that because I might take. Interesting. We have cups. So let's count the cups. Let's count the cups. Ooh, we got a beautiful moon. As a crescent and full moon together. Interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Cups. Isn't that lovely? That card's really lovely. Again, someone is moving forward. There's some movement to this. So the number 8, what shall we look at the number 8? Oh, I should hold this up so we can keep looking at this. The number 8 of Cups, I feel that there is, as I said, there's some movement to this. It looks like the person is coming out, almost like coming out of the water and moving onto land. So very possibly there is almost like going into a new cycle, and oftentimes 8 can represent that. But there's also some kind of a deeper expression here, perhaps even some karmic reason that is shown here, that I'm maybe moving into an away or absolving some sort of karmic lesson. So to me, this brings some aspect that something else is going to transpire. But it's also evening, so there's some almost a feeling of, I don't know why this came up, but like a dark night of the soul kind of feeling that's coming to me, and that could speak to this card. So what I should avoid, because that's what the position of this card is, what I should avoid is really going into some deep sorrow and wallowing in that deep sorrow. To move out of that, I should avoid dipping into any kind of sorrow or feeling sorry for myself for things that have happened in the past. Okay, so we're going to set the 4th card down, and the 5th card, what should I embrace? So let's see what I should embrace. And I said that an extra card came up with me. Oh my goodness. Wheel of Fortune. This is going to be a little easier for me to explain, since the Wheel of Fortune pretty much has very much the same meaning in these various tarot decks that I use. What I should embrace is, to me, a feeling that my fortune is going to change, that I need to sit in the present, but embracing the hopeful future and the abundance that could come from it. I'm seeing all the interesting signs. They're all kind of representing are they the fixed signs? I know at the bottom left-hand corner we have Taurus, then we have Leo, and then the other fixed sign is what is that, the Scorpion in the top corner. I have to go back and research that. I forgot what we discussed. And then also the book open is, to me, doesn't necessarily denote Aquarius, but I'm just looking at everything here. I'll go back and correct that later. But suffice to say, the wheel is turning, and what I need to embrace is stepping into my own abundance and ability to go forward and be a leader, be an illuminator, to help people transform their lives. And maybe I'm getting a little expressive here and a little ahead of myself, but I really want to really claim that I need to embrace all of this and feel the abundance and the skills and talents that I might have to offer up. Okay, so again, excuse me for not doing good justice to this card by misreading some of the signs here. I will, as I said, I will go back and correct my explanation. All right, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th card is the final row of this. Excuse me for dancing all around. So I will go through the last 4 cards, and I will maybe speed this up a little bit, since I realize that we want to keep this under the 20-minute mark, and I don't think I'm going to do it. So this is going to be a healthy reading here. Okay, so 6, what obstacle will I face? Let's see what I pull in this case. Oh, obstacle. Guess what I pulled? The Devil card. So, I guess that this is really a very easy answer, very simplistic answer. I think the obstacle I will face, is temptation that serves as a distraction to getting things done. You know, if I'm going to step into the wheel of fortune, I need to not just sit back and just kind of sit around and overeat or overindulge or overspend and not attend to things that could benefit me on a much improved level. Again, I'm liking the Adam and Eve with the devil horns. I'm kind of chained to earthly pleasures, which, again, it's okay to enjoy the earthly pleasures, but not when they prevent you from knowing one's, in this case, my highest good. So I see the import of this card is to avoid being distracted from all those temptations, even the amount of binge watching Netflix shows that are taking up time that I could spend in other ways. So this really helps me pose how I'm thinking about my month ahead and the obstacles that I need to avoid. All right, the next card, 7, is where do I find support? So the opposite is, let's pull this card. Where I will find support is, okay, we have, let me make sure 9 of Cups. He looks like he's happy. So I'm going to get supported how? Well, first of all, Cups deals with emotions. So 9 of Cups, what does 9 of Cups represent here? 9 of Cups could very well represent that my wishes shall be granted. 9 always really speaks to me as far as completion, finishing up, or mastery. And there's such a satisfactory look to this card, to this person on the card, that I feel like It also looks like he's a pretty wealthy artisan, so to speak. Um, Certainly not a poor little match girl or little match boy. I'm seeing just this feeling of abundance, but this could be emotional abundance in the form of fulfillment. So I think going into what gives me great satisfaction, in other words, where do I find support through maintaining kind of a positive emotional outlook, to count my blessings, to realize all that I have as blessings coming into my life. That really kind of shapes up what this card means to me, especially in the support of the number 7 card. And the number 8, as we go into looking at this reading, again, the spread. What action do I take this month, or the action that I need to take this month? So the advice for the card is what action do I need to really make this life, this whole, I don't mean life, I mean this month work for me in my life. And the card I pulled is okay, let me back up. Six of Swords. Okay, we're back in the sword suit. That's interesting because Six of Swords, let me set this down and show it in the space of this reading. I'm seeing people in the water, person driving a very primitive kind of boat, and a woman and a small child there in the boat. So what, and 6 always, and I appreciate Terry's description of the number 6 in the tarot, meaning like circling back, coming back, almost like this retrograde sort of feeling. So 6 of Swords is I could be traveling, and I'm going to leave it at traveling, because there's other things that come up with this card that I don't feel is action that I should take. In other words, feeling, the blues, but the part that is going back over would be one word that comes up is, going through a recovery process. I've been wanting to really go back over some aspects of my kind of business, my life, my finances, so that I can take some new steps forward. But I also know that it's very possible that by the end of June, I will have made some travel plans for this summer, and getting all my ducks in a row and my thoughts gathered, and pulling that all together will help me go forward. So the month of June, the actions I take is to do a little maybe reflection, Swords, dealing with my thoughts, my life, thinking about it, recovering what really works, and making some plans perhaps to set off on something new. This might denote a little bit of travel at some point. Okay, last card, number 9. So the completion card in this reading, I call 9 completion. So the end point is, What final advice or encouragement can I get? This is kind of I would say, the outcome. What can I expect as looking at all the 8 cards pulled so far? We get to the 9th card, and I will pull. Interesting. I pulled the Major Arcana Hermit card. So I would say the encouragement is for me, and the kind of parting words to this whole reading is to really understand what I have mastered and use the time to really contemplate and meditate and value my own beliefs and talents and ideas, and then hold forth what I can do to eliminate and guide others. So even being a sage, being someone who really owns the fact that I could provide wisdom, advice, support to others in a truly extraordinary and fulfilling way. So I really appreciate the encouragement that the Hermit card brings to me as far as me owning my own inner sage. And with that, I will end this reading.